Hello, welcome back. We're doing a mirror shot today, so we expect some people to walk by. I figured I'd try this new view, new angle. I have been pretty rough lately. This past weekend has been a Monday off of work holiday weekend in the United States. It was Labor Day Monday. So I didn't have work, but I was sick, so I'm just now recovered. I couldn't sleep last night. And then I ended up eating all of my food today at 1 a.m., so that sucked. Yeah. And I missed my workout on Monday because I was sick. So it's Tuesday, and we're doing chest. We're doing like the day one of the week. We are less than 6 weeks away, so that's like 40 days. Something, so like 5 weeks and 6 days, or 5 weeks and 5 days, something like that. Yeah, it's gonna be rough. Olympia's gonna be pretty tough. I don't know. I'm just trying to do the best I can. We're warming up here on bench. Well, we're starting on bench. We're gonna warm up with 35s, and then we're gonna probably just stack on another 35. That's gonna bring us to 185, and then from there we'll stack on maybe some 10s. That'll bring us up to 205, and we'll just work from there depending on how I feel for the working sets. Oh yeah, I need to do something here. Okay, that's good. Alright, I'm looking very reflective, and I am. We're on incline bench now. The flat bench, I did 205 for sets 8, 7, 8, 6. And all 3 reps in reserve, except the last one was 2 reps in reserve. So the footage that you saw, though, I only recorded the first set of 205. The rest was all warm up. It was a little bit hard to see from that angle, the weight stacks, but it was 35, then 2 35s, then 2 35s and a 10. And you basically just transfer the 10 to one of the 35s, that makes it 45, and then plus 35 is 205. And so here, on incline, we're doing 185, so you transfer 10 from one of the 35s to the other 35, that makes a 45 and a 25, which is known as 185. So the math, I'm really good at the 25 and 45 multiples when you also include the bar being 45. Yeah, my haircut, I don't have a haircut, just it's my hair. I didn't get a haircut yet. I think I will wait it out. I was talking last time about really needing to get a haircut, and I do, but you know, being like 5.5 weeks away, I just can't justify spending, $60 on a haircut that I'm just gonna have to get again in 5 weeks, So I'm just not gonna do it. And it's starting to look a little bit better now. It's just more like helmet. Let's see, zoom in. I don't know. It's just like a helmet now. I just have helmet hair. Just one unit on my head, like a Lego character. So, yeah, it's not too bad. It's kind of philosopher style, where it's a little curly, it's a little fluffy. I got a bit of a fluffy beard. My beard is almost at the length where I'm going to dye it again. I don't dye it when it's too short, just because then it only gets on my... Because my facial hair isn't thick enough to capture all of the dye. So when it's longer, it's not... it's thicker by default because the length kind of it overlaps itself. So, gonna dye my beard here pretty soon, and then that's it for my beard and stuff. I have noticed though that I did my laundry finally. It's been like 3 weeks of laundry being on my bed. Finally put that away, change my sheets, clean up. I gotta do some dishes today, but I've been getting much better at just recognizing that I have to kind of treat myself like from the third person. And it's my body and my environment, and then it's my conscious mind that I kind of separate, and I say, okay, I have to kind of take care of myself as if I'm a pet or something. Like I own my body, I own my environment, I own my mind in a way, and I have to treat it like I really own it as another thing. And with that, I realize, it's okay. What makes this thing that I have feel better? Well, when it sleeps on clean sheets, when it is showered, when it is groomed, when it is taken care of. Groomed in the sense of hair and beard and, looking good, right? And, being clean and stuff like that. So it's hard though. That's the thing, is it's hard. It takes energy and effort, and every single day you have to do it. And if you neglect it, even for one day, it can pile on and have this not decline, but destructive cycle where it just gets worse, and then you feel worse, and then you don't do it, which makes it worse. And when it gets better, it's not a constructive cycle. It never can be a constructive cycle, because even if it is good, it doesn't make it easier. It's a little bit easier to do it because you do it in the small chunks every day, but you still have to do those small chunks every day. And so it's still hard, So there is no constructive cycle. There's either the plateau of doing it, where it's kind of monotonous, tedious, constant effort every day, or it gets bad, negative cycle stuff. So that's what I've kind of realized with myself, taking care of myself, keeping things clean. It's like having a dog, maybe, where you have to wash them, you have to clean them, you have to feed them properly, give them routine, take them out for walks, give them outdoor time, give them sunlight, give them companionship and company, and go play with other dogs or play with them yourselves. So I have to entertain myself, I have to take care of my mind, I have to feel good, whatever makes me feel good. So whether it's learning, reading, relaxing, laying down, going out, hanging out with people, hanging out with my brother, anything like that. So that's what I'm trying to do, but like I said, it's never easy, it's never a constructive cycle, it's always just effort. And I'm just always finding it, difficult at some level just to do this every single day for the rest of my life. And, I just feel so disassociated from the world and from myself, from my mind and my soul lately, which is tough, very tough. It's just, I'm having a glimpse of my life's future, or the actually no, there's a lot of uncertainty right now in my life. I feel like a change is coming, but I'm not ready for it, and I don't know how to be ready for the uncertainty, the unknown. There's only so much you can do to prepare and be ready for stuff like that, and so I'm doing as much as I can, but it's like after Olympia, what comes next? What do I do? What do I focus on? I kind of have the freedom to do almost anything, but that means I also have to make a decision and, thereby decide to not do a lot of things, maybe ever. And that's tough, because you never know which is the right thing to do. The right thing to do is to do something, though. Whatever. I don't want to lose my chest pump, though. I have a lot of energy because I ate today's food at 1 a.m., so I feel terrible about that, but I'm going to just not eat today, and then that'll kind of balance out my calories, and then tomorrow I'll be back on track, and then I'll just be back on track and stay on track as much as I can. And I just want to try to get, challenge myself to get as shredded as I possibly can and just do that. So that's what I'm doing, like in terms of training and stuff. Still working on that documentary. Hopefully more progress is made there. It's a little bit out of my hands, but just doing as much as I can, trying to. And yeah, that's what it is. Documentary's on its way. We're listening to some Michael Jackson right now. Don't Stop Till You're Good Enough. Pretty good. So yeah, and by now you've probably seen all my workout for this workout and stuff, so see you at the next workout, where I will maybe talk or not. It's a good day though. It's a good day. I feel good. We're here in the middle of the day, so I don't see anybody that I recognize, which means I can kind of get through this quickly as long as I don't talk too long, which, let's see how long. Ooh, I've been talking for 8 minutes. That's very long. All right. All right, talking again. Here I am. So, got about 11, 12 minutes of talking time total. Gonna add to that. I've been thinking for a while, and it's just kind of this lingering kind of, not devil or angel on the shoulder, but thought on the shoulder, thought in the back of the head. Life is so fragile, and I feel like I'm extra aware of it because I'm reading like 2 books on average per week. You know, it's, how many weeks are we into the year? Maybe 35 or something like that. I've read maybe 70 books by now this year, and the number doesn't matter. First of all, when people say I want to go to 100 countries, I want to go to every continent, I want to read 100 books this year, it doesn't matter because I will read 10 books if they are, you know, massive. If you're reading the entire works of Shakespeare, that's going to take you maybe all year. You read 1 book in the year. Who cares, right? The number, if you care about the number of books you've read, or if you really, like, I keep track just so I can have a list, so I can look back and say, oh, these are the books I read in 2025, 2024, and so on. So I know the number because I have them in a list. But there are books that take me 2 weeks to read, or a whole month to read. And I'll read other books alongside them in the background when I want to switch it up. But anyway, I'm reading a lot of history. That's all I read. Either it's by, like, you can only read history or fake stuff or projections about the future because everything is history, right? If you read a biography, it's about what happened in the past. You read about an event, anything, everything happened in the past that we can talk about. Even in the present, we're talking about things that are either currently happening, which also means it happened anyway. What I pick up from history a lot is just how fragile life is. I was reading this book the other day. I just kind of glossing through it. I'm not going to finish it. So sometimes some of the books I quote-unquote read, I just get the gist of them, or I read half of it and then whatever. So these aren't full reads sometimes. Sometimes they're not even fully paying attention, but it's, you know, a passive thing. And this one is about the Dutch East India Company, or like the British East India Company. That whole time, you know, like the early 14, 13, 1500s, whatever the time frame. And, you know, when America was first, you know, because New York used to be called New Amsterdam and stuff like that, and like New Netherlands or New Holland. So New York was first colonized by the Dutch, and then the British took over. But anyway, you know, when they were doing a lot of trades for nutmeg and stuff from Indonesia and Batam and stuff. And I was thinking, you know, well, I'm reading about how they would just go and just kill people, enslave them, all for nutmeg and cloves and spices like that. And just imagine you're a native Javanese, Indonesian, whatever it is. I don't remember the exact terms or people, but you're a native of Indonesia, and these people come over and they're like, hey, we like nutmeg. We're going to kill you for it. You're totally helpless. You have no control. And it's this total other power that just comes in and you die. Imagine how fragile. Your life is just totally taken out by this other force that has nothing to do with you. It's not like martyr. It's not dying for a cause. It's not going to war even. It's just people coming in and killing you. Or, you know, and there's hundreds of examples of stuff like this. And it just makes you think, like, how many people have died over just totally stupid things? You know, because we look back at history and we're like, you didn't have to do that, you know? Or bloodletting, or, you know, surgeries. You know, like, medicine has been very, very unscientific. Like, they thought they were being scientific, but it wasn't. You know, you drink whiskey to help you with surgery. You know, you're getting your leg amputated, and you hardly survive just because of, you know, stupid medical practices. Leeching, bloodletting, like I said. and then you die from stuff like that, and that's just such a terrible way to die. You know, I'm so happy to be alive today, where at least where I live, you know, there's not a lot of stupid ways to die anymore. There still are. You know, if you've read Friedrich Nietzsche, The Trial, that's kind of how it feels today, where you're almost hopelessly out of control. The government feels so big and Big Brother, and you're just like, you can't fight it, because how could you? You know, it's like we got politicians making millions of dollars by insider trading, and you're like, that's not fair, we gotta stop that. And just all stuff like that, and it's just, there's nothing we can really do as individuals about it. And to organize for it is also difficult, because also we're all spread out. America's very spread out, and you know, so it's tough anyway. Just thinking about that, thinking about, you know, like, I definitely, you have to take every day, like it could be your last, or at least, you know, have your life set up in a way where it's like, make sure that you're not putting off the good stuff. You know, don't wait for retirement. Don't wait for this or wait for that to happen. You know, you just gotta do it. You know, and some things take time. Doing a Mr. Olympia, this takes time. I can't rush it. I can't, you know, stuff like that, or, you know, traveling and whatever. You know, I can maybe travel 2 or 3 countries per year if I'm lucky, for the next 20 years if I'm really lucky, for the next 5 if I'm even lucky, right? So it all just depends on my job. It depends on if I get laid off. It depends on financially how everything goes, the U.S., the global economy, how strong the U.S. dollar is, and stuff like that. So, talking again for a long time, but, you know, it's like balancing how much money do I save, because even if I'm making money in the stock market, you can only sell your money once, right? You can only make profit once, and then it's done. And then you have to spend it right away, because as soon as you sell, you're done tracking ahead of inflation. So as soon as you sell, that's cash, and now you have to spend it, because if you don't spend it, it's instantly going to start losing its value due to inflation. So if you don't spend the money you sell from the stock market right away, you might as well have just kept it in the stock market, because it's going to just try to keep up with, or, you know, go ahead of inflation rates. So, you know, and then if the dollar devalues over time, which it seems to be doing, then I want to spend money now while it's still valuable now, but I also want to save it for the potential of it being valuable in the future. But if it does go to zero in the future, or something like that happens within the next 50 years before I can retire, then I want to make sure that I didn't save it so long that it became useless, and then now I can't use it at all, whereas I can use it now. The fragility of life, everybody. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I will now do chest flies, 165 pounds. I should have them overlaid onto this workout, so I will already have done them, and now we're going to move on to the next workouts, which I'm not going to talk. I'm just going to record those and then overlay them as well, because it's getting very long of a video. We're close to 20 minutes now, and I usually don't cut my talking clips anymore. I just kind of keep them all in, just for ease of editing, because I'm trying not to spend too much time editing. I want to get into a decent groove of just kind of letting it happen, letting it go online, whatever, however long it is. I try to keep it between, you know, it can go as low as 9 minutes, but I don't want it to get above 20. So we're going to stop it here. Have a good day. I love you. Stay sane, stay safe, stay healthy, and do something good for somebody today, even if it's a very small thing. Hold open the door, say hello, give a compliment, or give a compliment to the world. Tell the sky it's beautiful. I don't know. All right. Have a good day. Bye.